God, it smells like shit out here. Oh, the fuck is that? Hey, who's there?
It is I, the Leprechaun. I see you found one of my gold coins.
Oh shit, this is yours?
It is. 3 wishes you get, and then your soul is mine.
Wait, that doesn't make any fucking sense. My soul is yours?
Well, duh. Haven't you seen the fucking movie? On with your first wish.
What to wish for? First, I wish to keep this gold coin. And second, I wish for you to lose all your powers and get banished back to Ireland, you mixed son of a bitch.
The wish is my command. Wait, what the fuck? No!
It's Haggis and Guinness for you, my friends! This week we are watching the 1993 horror flick Leprechaun. Starring Warwick Davis, this film series has gained a cult following over the last 31 years. Most people will not give this movie a glowing review, but what's not to love about an Irish leprechaun monster killing anyone in his way who dares to touch his gold? It's the year 1983 and Dan O'Grady has arrived back home in North Dakota. He leads his wife on when he shows up in a limousine. It's soon revealed that he was successful in obtaining the pot of gold from the leprechaun. Little did Dan O'Grady know, this little fella followed him all the way back home. The leprechaun makes quick work of O'Grady's wife. Luckily for Dan O'Grady, he has the luck of the Irish and busts out his 4-leaf clover and seals the leprechaun inside. He's about to burn the little fucker up, but ends up going down with a stroke. Flash forward to the year 1993, 4-leaf clover is a #1 hit on the radio. We see Tori and her dad are relocating to the old O'Grady home, having recently bought the property. Tori is not about this new setup and actively protests to get the hell out of Dodge. That's until she runs into Nathan. She quickly changes her mind. We see that the leprechaun is very much alive and he lures Ozzy with the voice of a child. Ozzy accidentally knocks the 4-leaf clover off the crate. This allows the leprechaun to finally escape. He wants his gold and he wants it now. Ozzy is out the door to tell the others, but of course no one is going to believe this dude. He sees a rainbow and takes this as a sign. Him and Alex go off to search out the end of the rainbow. Alex and Ozzy find an old broken down truck. Ozzy finds 1 coin, followed by Alex finding the bag with the other 99 coins. Ozzy, being Ozzy, ends up swallowing the gold coin. They stash the gold as they need to go to a local shop in order to make sure that this is pure gold they're dealing with. Back at the house, Tori and Nathan are flirting with each other the entire time. Tori ends up getting scratched by what Nathan and her dad think is a cat. The leprechaun, using his magic, gets Tori's dad to stick his hand down a tree and then ends up biting the shit out of his hand. They are forced to take the old man to the hospital. The leprechaun finds an old tricycle and follows them into town. Once at the hospital, Nathan tells Ozzy and Alex to go get a bite to eat. This is the perfect time to sneak off to test out that gold coin. After agreeing to allow the shop owner to keep the gold coin overnight, the leprechaun enters the store and kills the shop owner since he is in possession of one of his gold coins. We see here that the leprechaun is able to upgrade his mode of transportation and ends up taking one of the go-karts at the pawn shop. While on his way back to the old O'Grady house, the leprechaun is pulled over by a local cop. The chase ensues as the leprechaun tracks down the police officer in the woods and kills the poor bastard. While back at the house, he is on the hunt for the rest of his gold. But he can't help himself and proceeds to shine all the shoes that he comes across. With Tori's dad resting up at the hospital, the gang drives back to the house to find it torn to pieces. They hear something outside. Nathan goes out to check and is caught in a bear trap. This is where they finally realize that Ozzy was not lying, as they all see the Leprechaun. They bring out the big shotgun and take after the Leprechaun, trying desperately to kill him. The terror continues till Ozzy breaks down and tells the group about the gold him and Alex found at the end of the rainbow earlier that day. They recover the bag from the well and give it back to the Leprechaun. Jumping for joy, the Leprechaun begins to count the coins, but the Leprechaun is done counting and he is still missing a gold coin. He begins his onslaught of terror once again. It's decided that Dan O'Grady needs to help them kill the Leprechaun. They distract the Leprechaun long enough to allow Tori to get away in her Jeep. She gets to the nursing home and goes to the room that belongs to Grady. She soon discovers that the Leprechaun had used his magic and is impersonating Dan O'Grady. The chase is back on as Tori is able to make it to the elevator. The Leprechaun throws Dan O'Grady's fat ass down the shaft as he lands on top of the elevator. He tells her the only way the Leprechaun can be killed is by finding a 4-leaf clover. Tori is able to make it back to the farm. She immediately begins the search for a 4-leaf clover, but her search ends quickly as again the Leprechaun attacks her. It's up to Nathan and Ozzy to save Tori from the Leprechaun and help her find the 4-leaf clover. They finally find out that Ozzy ate that gold coin. The Leprechaun attacks Ozzy using a buckle to try and slice the dude open. In a desperate moment, Alex takes a piece of chewed up gum and his slingshot. He loads the gum with the 4-leaf clover and he proceeds to shoot it right down the throat of the Leprechaun. This is instant death for the Leprechaun as they push him down the well. They add a bit of gasoline to the mix as they blow the shit out of this green dude. The cops finally arrive as we hear the voice of the Leprechaun vowing not to rest till he finds his gold. This franchise holds a special place in my heart. I remember seeing the series back in the mid-1990s. I probably saw part 3 first, and soon after I saw parts 1 and 2. These movies as a kid rocked. I loved the performance of Warwick Davis. I never found out about Willow until a much later age. To me, he was always the Leprechaun. The first Leprechaun film is probably one of the more disliked in the series. You always hear people talk about Leprechaun 3 and the 2 Back to the Hood sequels. I love the first one though. You get a very young Jennifer Aniston. The little kid that played Alex, he was in that one Stephen King movie, Sometimes They Come Back. I remember as a teenager picking up this one on DVD when they first came out in that form. So, I have definitely seen this one at least a dozen times, if not more. I think this is a fun movie and is worthy of a rewatch every couple of years. So, the next time you're in Ireland, make sure to pay your respects to the Leprechaun. And until then, I'll see you at the video store.